Welcome to today's video. Today we'll be talking about area between shapes. And what I mean by that, ACT likes to do this because they can cover a whole bunch of stuff. For example, they give you let's say a square, and they give you a circle that's a very not well done circle, but it's good enough. But they want you to find the area of this, 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 and this. And some of you may be asking, well, how do I do that? Well, it's not that bad. You take the full area of the square minus the area of the inside circle, so you have your full square, then you cut out your circle, and all is left is these little triangle type shaped area. So, two things we have to know is what's the dimensions of either the square or the circle. Most likely they'll give you, say, the square is 8 centimeters in width, and you know that square has each side length has to be 8 also. So that's not too bad. We're asking, well, how do I find the radius of the circle to find the area? Because you'll have your two equations, your square equation, which is just length times width, or base times height, whatever you like to use. But your circle, you need to have a radius. And we have no idea what a radius is. So you may be asking, how do you find your radius? Well, if you notice, it connects right down the center of the circle. That'd be the center of the circle. It goes right down the center of the circle and touches both sides of the square. So you can basically do this full length should be, so your diameter should be 8 centimeters. So, if you remember, your radius is 2 times the diameter divided by 2. Or 2r would be your diameter. So, that's where I was getting at. So, your radius would be your diameter cut in half, or 2 times the radius would give you your diameter. So given that your diameter is 8, what's your radius? Well, it should be 4, because 4 and 4 should be 8. So it'd be 4 centimeters. Now, since we know that, we can find the area of the circle. So we can do pi times 4 squared equals 16 pi. I just realized I forgot to do the area of the square. 8 times 8, or base times height, is 64. Like I said before, you take the outside area minus the inside area. The outside area minus the inside area, and it'll give you these triangle shapes. So, since you know that, you can say 64 minus 16 pi, if you want to calculate that out. That's basically in exact terms that you would have to know. It might be an answer, but if they were doing it in decimal form, your answer would be approximately 13.735 cubic centimeters. So that should be what all 4 of these little triangles should equal, which makes sense in an overall picture. Sometimes they'll give you like shapes like, let's see here. They'll give you a triangle and say, okay, given this triangle, what's the area of this and that? And you were given the area of, we'll say 4. And this is a square, so this would also be 4 centimeters. So this is where they may include using, if you watch my previous videos of a 30, 60, 90 triangle and 40, 45 triangle to find your area, because you have to take the area of this minus the area of this triangle would give you these little triangle-like looking things. So let's just do the area of the square. 4 times 4 is 16. Not too bad. Since technically you don't need to know either of these in this case scenario, because it goes from top to bottom, so we know our height is 4. We'd have to figure out the width of this. This is cut in half down the middle, so it's bisected, so that means each length will be 2 centimeters each. Remember, our triangle formula for area is 1/2 base times height, or base times height over 2, whatever you like to do. So, given that this equation, let's find the area. So 4 times 2 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So it should be 12 centimeters cubed for the area of those. Or you can say 1/2 times 2 over 1 times 4 over 1, which would give you 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 4 is 8 over 2, which equals 4, which gives you that. Like the example above, they could do the exact opposite. They could give you a circle. It's not really circular, but it's close enough, and they can give you a square in the middle of it. So let's say they give you the radius of the circle is 5. So equals the radius. Find the area. So, based off of the equations above, for the square is length times width, or base times height, and the area of the circle is pi times radius squared. We know the area of the circle. We already know the radius, so we can just say that pi times 5 squared equals 25 pi, because 5 squared is 25. So that gives you the area of your circle. Then you have to subtract the area of this to give you these 4 little semicircle sections. Maybe asking, how do I find the area of the square? Well, you know that your diagonal would go from one edge to the other edge through the center. So you can use Pythagorean theorem, which works out really well. Because for those, you should know of you who know, this is a Pythagorean triple. 5, you have 4 and 3. But you can say, and that's a Pythagorean triple that you need to know. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. So it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So based off that, we can now, this would be more of a rectangle in this case than it is a square, but it's a rectangular shape, I guess you could say. So now, since we know that the base of it's 4, or the base of it's 3, the height is 4, we can find now the area of the square with the base times height and length times width. So 3 times 4 is 12. So 25 pi minus 12, or yeah, minus 12, which equals an approximate. This is an acceptable answer right here because it's in terms of pi. But if they want it in decimal form, once again, it will be approximately, this is 12, approximately 66.540. I'm rounding to 3 decimals, centimeters squared. I didn't quite say that, we'll just say centimeters. It can be feet, anything like that. So, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below of any videos that you would like me to do. And I'll see you next time.